Hey, everybody. Here we are, Saturday, October 19th, 2024, and week number 7 in a row. We have some momentum going. And as I've spoken about in the past, momentum, powerful thing, can be good, can be not good. Depends on which side of the momo you're on. Life is all about nipping it when it's not good and riding it with the house money, if you will, as long as it's good. So, yeah, here we are. Quick personal update, I guess. The dog is out of the water, the boat is out of the water. Some of you might have seen the video, the last go round of the boat before the boat ferry came and took the boat out for the winter. So we are about ready to close up the main home here, and in a couple of weeks be heading south to our New Hampshire residence. So we'll be back up here maybe once a month. I still have a team up here. So a lot of things going on, but it's all converging on a specific topic this week. So this coming week, I'll be in New York with my fellow C-suiters for our quarterly board meeting, Jocko Fuel. Be downtown Manhattan. Boy, hotel prices getting out of hand, and we're trying to figure out why. And we realize it may be because the Mets and Yankees might be in a Subway Series here soon. So rooms, talk about trading, talk about valuation. Boy, hotel prices going through the roof. So anyway, that's that. But when I said things seem to be converging maybe on a given topic, I'm always trying to figure out what to talk about, now that we've resurrected our dialogue. And first of all, you'll see in the picture below the video that the directors of The Way of the Warrior Kid have allowed me to post at least one of the pictures. Filming is wrapped, as I mentioned last week, so good to go there. You might have seen the post with Chris Pratt and Jocko. Actually, Jocko Willink and Jude Hill, who's going to be playing the kid that I retweeted. It wasn't a tweet, but I retweeted an Instagram post. It was a snapshot, but all good. And that's kind of where all roads seem to be colliding for today. I want to start, though, with the classic repost entitled Three Little Words. That was from May of 2009. I'm having a ball, actually, kind of like when I did the book. In the middle part of the book has the 100 posts, over a multi-year period. I had to pick 100 that I thought was relevant or were relevant and that told a story. And I'm kind of doing the same thing again now. So this one's from May of 2009, and the title is Three Little Words. And those three little words are, I was wrong. And I don't want to get off on a political rabbit hole because I've never done that, and excuse me, I refuse to do that. Yet you could easily move those three words over to politics, over to business, trading for sure, right? And a lot of it having to do with ego and the lack of willingness to drop the ego. So when you look at just those words and the implications it can have on your own mindset, on how others view you, how the market views you, and how your bank account, your trading bank account views you. And that's the only view, as I said before, that matters in terms of the profitability of your business. You don't care what anybody else says, doesn't matter. What does your bank account say? Your bank account will not lie. Okay, use that as the ultimate judge and jury. And so if you're wrong, then your bank account's going to tell you that. Your friends, your peers, those who care about you may also tell you, hopefully in a loving way, that you were wrong. But it happens. And that particular post talks about a rather rough 1 week stretch, and there's some large numbers to the downside and certainly to the upside that you'll see referenced in there. But it was a concept back then that I thought was important because you just don't hear a lot about that. And it's so important that you can look at all the sports analogies over time. Look, you've heard this. I know how many shots, Michael Jordan misses a high percentage of the shots that he makes. How many great baseball hitters strike out. Over 300 lifetime batting average is great in baseball. And that's failing, if you will, 70% of the time. And then in a world, certainly in the trading world, investment world, where it's all about hype, and you could say the political world as well. So few would just want to say I was wrong. And I would state right now, with 1,000% certainty, that it's an integral part of the business. And it's an integral part of the business plan. And anyone who says otherwise is deceiving himself, herself, or you. And again, one of the reasons I wrote the book was I wanted to make sure that everybody, really got that point hammered home. Right? Look at all the times I was wrong. I mean, I'm wrong every day to a certain extent. Hopefully, as you get older and more mature in business and in life and with family and all that, the getting wrong is, it's not as wrong. The troughs are not as low, and there are more missteps along the way. But even at this day and age, I'm 63. Whether it's business, whether it's trading, whatever, I'm wrong. I'm wrong every day. And it's about minimizing the times when you're wrong and maximizing the times when you're right. And I don't like that term "right" when you're in sync with the market and riding the momentum. Getting back to the momentum comment. So, read that to the extent it helps reinforce things that we talked about years ago, or again, if you're new to this. And we got a little bit of a development community here. Again, I'm not publicizing this other than a little bit on Twitter. But I'm having a ball. So if you're here, great. I love you. Welcome you, and let's keep the conversation going. And anyway, where worlds are converging, right? Going back to the picture under here, right? Way of the Warrior Kid post. Thank you, Chris Pratt. Thank you, Jocko Willink. Thank you, Ben Averard. All these the directors, the publishers, Apple, everybody that's been involved with that production. That gave me certainly a day of great joy watching that come together. I can't tag it, but I did get permission to release that photo. Anyway, so Jocko's in that photo. This is not Way of the Warrior Kid book, which the movie's based on, but please, especially if you've got kids, adolescent kids, I would encourage you to get that. But this is a book that Jocko was writing around I think it was the 2015 area. I think it was published in 2015. Copyright 2015, 2017 by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, and it's entitled Extreme Ownership. And another reason I thought about this week is that my daughter, actually, who is, how old are you, Courtney? 35 now, was looking to read this and his other book, which I have on my desk here, The Dichotomy of Leadership. And she was asking me which one to read first, and I suggested this one because I think the two build on each other. Anyway, it's a #1 New York Times bestseller. And I'm not going to really go through the material here necessarily, other than the topic, which is, just by its title, Extreme Ownership. It's, I think, highly relevant to the investment community. It's certainly relevant to business. It's certainly relevant to personal life in terms of just taking ownership of, we just talked about mistakes a few minutes ago, right? Owning the mistakes, owning the areas of your life, your family, your company, your profession, your skill set that you have some control over, right? How many times do we hear that you really can only control, a few things in life, and one is yourself? And so I will tell you, for the past 5 years, I've been involved with the two companies, Origin and Jocko Fuel, where we preach this. We've had, members of Jocko's team, former Navy SEALs, come and work with us. You've heard me reference that coyly over the last 4 or 5 years when I've been off the grid, when I have briefly resurfaced. And it's just about taking ownership. And back to what I was just saying, I can't tell you how many times where, unlike many companies in many environments, one of the things I love about the group of people I work with is we usually lead with, if something went wrong, hey, that's on me. That's on me. I'm being a poor leader. How can I fix that? How can I get better? Talk to me, right? Mistake in business, that's on me. I didn't see it coming. I didn't plan, right? And so it's a thread that's very, very, very common and has been drilled into the culture of the firms that I work with. And, I would largely surmise that this is as important a concept in the financial world, right? Extreme ownership, willing to, not lean on, market did something that I wasn't ready for. The market, it's the market's fault. It's the market's fault. It's other traders. Other traders are out to screw me, right? Oh, it's that Don. Don was successful. Yeah, I shared his missteps, but boy, I should be able to do what he did. So it's Don's fault, or John Doe, or Jane Doe, or this book I read, or this process that I bought, or this system that I invested in, or the weather was bad, or I was out late last night, I slept in, or I had a dentist appointment. By the way, the two of those last ones, you either see in the book or saw in my blog over the years, because I didn't want to say I blamed them. Maybe I did. but I at least elaborated on them and saying, geez, that was on me, hopefully, to not schedule those events during the times that I did schedule them. So, taking ownership for yourself. I'd encourage you to get this book. It's worthwhile. Again, Extreme Ownership, written by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. It was, interestingly enough, it was published about 2 years after the Chronicles book. So completely separate lives for a period of time. Certainly didn't know each other. Although, here's where everything else is coming together. I was looking back, and I'll post a link to this. So 2002, right, when I was working alongside Larry Connors, Kevin Hagen. Remember that whole gang? Drop me a note or comment if you do. Headline here, Larry Connors talks to Richard Makowitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Richard was a former Navy SEAL. She's certified instructor rating in the U.S. Navy SEAL hand-to-hand combat program. And he had a book called Unleashing the Warrior Within, using the 7 principles of combat to achieve your goals. And that's very similar to this, which is, using the skills that you develop, you hone in terms of combat, bringing them back to this world and using them for improving your life experiences, and again, taking ownership. So I just thought it was fabulous. Go back to 99, 2000, in this case 2002, the work that we did collaboratively with Larry, with Richard as a Navy SEAL, with my life now coming full circle to intimately working alongside Jocko and his team and seeing what he stands for, and then the whole movie that's coming about, which really is geared toward more adolescence. But I'm guessing, by the way, summer of 25. We're kind of shooting for Father's Day, but looks like summer at some point. Apple streaming, because Apple has the rights to it via Skydance, and not sure if it'll be in theaters originally, but just going to be huge. So anyway, a little bit of a full circle life moment, if you will. I don't have much more than that, other than to say some of the market rhythms that we've talked about recently. Taking a look at last week, the 10-point ES rhythm, the TMAR, take your money and run after the market does its thing that you are positioning for in anticipation based on probability. That bank it, because those air pockets are still there. Look at Friday, those air pockets. There's one air pocket, I think, around 2 o'clock. I don't know the charts in front of me, but I think it was around 2 p.m. Eastern, where it's like I use a 2-minute chart for my smallest time frame, and it's like a single bar, and it went down like 10 points and went back up. Just a lot of that after the initial move had played out early in the day. The pre-market momentum, some of the closes and the after-hour opportunities. Remember, my tendency, and that's all these are market tendencies. There are no hard and fast rules, but certainly TMAR scalping during the Asia market, because you just don't have the volume normally to sustain the moves or even initiate some of the moves. Europe, oh my gosh, was it Thursday or Friday morning where you closed in a classic bull cup fashion the night before, and then Europe takes us up like 20, 30 points. So Europe continues to be the most fertile ground, and then the U.S. cowboy market to a large extent. So, those rhythms are still there. And that's about what I had right now. So it's going to be a busy week for me. I again thank all of you that are choosing to listen with me as we resurrect our network and our chat. I can't say enough about what this industry has done for me as a person. I've had to learn a lot of hard rules, hard lessons in life. Some of them from many of you, and I applaud you. As I said in the book, it really takes both sides in this world, in my opinion, to make you better. Those who challenge you one way or another, and those that support you, and really they both do the same thing. And I said this in spades in the book, that I think even those who may have been critical of some of my approaches, my comments, my going public. Look, if you're in the public eye, it's going to happen. You just have to have a thick skin. But I think if you're smart, you can look at those comments, evaluate, whether there's some substance to it. And if you're really honest with yourself and taking extreme ownership for yourself, then, it should get you thinking. And, whether that results in a needed pivot or not. Like I've said in the book, I mean, I applaud those who kind of have that you call it iron sharpens iron. Might be inadvertently in that case, but I think it's so great because I think we need a little of tough network love in this business. We all should be held accountable. Those of us who have a public profile should be more accountable to everyone, even though this always remains personal opinion and it's one person's story and evolution of his life. So I forget who it was, but someone tweeted over the past couple of weeks that he still remembers some of the things we've talked about in terms of the personality of the market and again knowing that trading vehicle that you're working with, just like your kids, your children, when they get tired, when they're excited, when they need to go to rest, when they need more attention, when you should leave them alone, and then carving out a life for yourself and not always being there, meaning pull yourself away from the market every now and then. So I'm thrilled that took a little bit. I'm thrilled that it's been helpful. I'm thrilled you're still doing this. Again, it's a tough business if you're talking about trading, if you're talking about personally investing. It's not for the faint of heart. The vast majority of traders will fail, regardless of education experience. Get those 10,000 hours in and decide whether it's for you or not. And those of you that have decided to pursue this crazy journey in one way or another, I'm just thrilled to be shoulder and shoulder side by side with you as we go through this. So I continue to learn from all of you every day that I breathe. So anyway, that's what I have this week. A little bit more babbling than I thought, but have a great one. We'll be at it next week. Check out the Classic Post, and we'll catch you then. Bye.